mechanism will be there, quick return mechanism, all these are given. Kindly look into this. We are not going to study all these linkages, their velocity, acceleration diagram, all these we are not going to deal with. If any of the books you are referring, please refer these only. At the same time, I have uploaded some of the important book related to these fundamentals of linkages, which has been prescribed by the BTU, that I have uploaded. If you want, I will be uploading in the team also. You can once again please look into this. Okay. And now let me go through the linear motion application. It is very simple one. It is very simple. You can see this linear motion application, where extensively these will be used. The first one, I am going to take a seat actuator of passenger vehicle. Okay, and it can be used in a closed loop, and a drive system will be used to operate this. Okay, and it is one of the linear motion mechanism. Another one, you can find the loading through linear distance. That means for the loading and unloading of the systems, we will be using the linear mechanisms. Okay, and the linear motions are you can find, apart from this, many other sectors you can find the linear motions. And most of the important applications we can find in the medical applications also. And in the medical applications, for the bed arrangements, okay, for the X-ray machines, okay, the scanners, for all these a linear motion mechanisms will be used. In fact, manually these are not operated by manual method. They will be operated by using the electrical devices. Those will be operating, and their actuations will be converted into linear motions, so that the required movement of the parts within the equipment can be obtained. Okay, this is about the medical applications verified. And the next one, in the building and the furnitures and retail stores. Retail stores, you can see that if you go to very big the stores, they'll be stacking all these their items in the vertical way. Okay, in the very it may be around more than 10 to 20 feet height. Okay, if you go to metro, you can find there the linear mechanisms will be used. You can see that a chain drive will be used linearly, like a telescopic motion. It will be moving up and down, so that the materials can be unloaded and loaded in the retail stores. And in the hotels also they will be using, in the museums and in the theaters. Everywhere we can find their applications. But as a name, you have to give certain examples. Certain examples we have to give. Okay, certain examples we have to give them. And in the aerospace also we can find linear motion applications. Okay, aerospace, for the roll, pitch and yaw of these motions, while the airplane is taking off, and it has to control and it has to move left and right. There also we are going to use the linear mechanisms. Okay, we are going to use the linear mechanisms. And in the packaging and the industries, okay, for the palletization, for example, we are going to use the different compartments. In these different compartments, we are going to tackle different small elements. There we can use these the linear motions for the palletizing. Palletizing is very simple. Palletizer is not any complicated mechanism. Herein you can find a very simple example. The person, the hotel, the cashier, he will be collecting the money. For example, if he is going to collect 10 rupees, 5 rupees, 1 rupees coin, and he is going to tackle them in the different cups, that is called as palletizer, coin palletizer. In the similar way, the palletizer, maybe it is a nut and bolt or some other different items or electronic and electric goods, they will be separating. Okay, they will be kept in these different palletizers. Okay, and in the filling operations also we can say, and in the pick and place operations of the robot, we are going to use them. In the warehouses also we are going to use the mechanisms. So all in the painting mechanisms, okay, in cutting mechanisms in the workshops, okay, all these are a few of the examples of the linear motion mechanisms. So after all, what they will be asking you, explain the applications of linear motions. The linear motion is one. The linear output will be obtained by the mechanisms. and these have got extensive applications in the different field. The first naming the medical applications or the medical equipment operations like the bed arrangement, X-ray machines, the scanners, all these we are going to use the linear mechanisms. And linear motion mechanisms also will be used for the sheet arrangements, okay, and the loading and unloading platforms also will be using them. And in the building and the furnitures we are going to use for the retail stores, okay, hotels, museums, theaters we are going to use. And even the shutters of your building, you can see that opening up and closing of the shutters also can be by means of a linear mechanisms. And in the aerospace industries, we has got very extensive application, the linear mechanisms. Okay, all the devices and equipments of the aerospace, all these will be by means of a maximum sliding arrangements. Even the window sliding arrangement, all these are the linear mechanisms. I feel there is no doubt in this. Okay. In the packaging industries also, I told you already, the linear motion mechanisms will be used for the positioning of the loads and the unloading and unloading of the machines and palletizing of the parts for the packing and pick and place operations by means of a robot. Okay, and for the filling operations, maybe the different the parts filling. Okay, and in the warehouses also it will be used. So like this in the painting also it will be used, in the cutting mechanisms. All these we are finding the linear mechanisms, and linear mechanisms will be used for the shaping machines also. You can see that the shaping machine, okay, here the workpiece will be moved in a linear way. This is also a linear mechanism. These are some of the important examples we have taken. Apart from this, you can take many other examples also to understand the applications of the linear mechanisms. And the oscillatory motions. The oscillatory mechanisms will be giving you the oscillatory motions. The oscillatory mechanisms I am not going to discuss here. It is not required for us. So here the oscillatory motion will be a simple harmonic motion which will be giving you output. Okay, and most of these the different field where we are going to use is a simple pendulum method. Okay, and in the very important applications where you find is in the regular thing where you can able to remember them is the grain cleaning, the stone separation mills. Okay, some of the service machineries. Okay, and muscles instruments. Everywhere we are going to use the oscillatory motions. And some of the examples you have seen that you have shown here, you can see that wall clock also will be using the oscillatory motions. And another one, the spring mass damper system. Okay, all the machineries will be having this kind of this one oscillatory. And the spring mass damper system will be used for the suspension of your vehicles, vehicle suspension. Okay, it is also oscillatory. Okay, and under the musical instruments. Okay, the toys. These are some of the important applications of the oscillatory motions. Okay, and about the rotary motion. Rotary in the sense what? Rotation. Output will be rotation. Okay, and the different mechanisms which are going to use them, and the input may be whatever the type of input may be, the output will be a rotary motion. Okay, the rotary applications where you can find. The rotary applications you can find in the machine tools, the medical devices, the welding machines, and the robots, and the automotive industries, and the aerospace industries, the semiconductors, and heavy equipment industries, many other. We can find the rotary motion applications. Okay, and these rotary motion applications include also the belt drives, the cam indexing mechanisms, okay, and the planetary gear heads, okay, and the direct drives. All these are the precision driving systems. You have seen that gear trains. It may be a simple gear train or it may be a compound gear train, okay, and the rack and pinion arrangement, the ratchet arrangement, okay. All these will be rotary motions. All the gears and the belt drives, gear drives, and the chain drives, all these will be rotary motion mechanisms. These will be used in different machineries. Okay, those we have to name them. You can see this one of the application of ratchet and latch mechanism. This ratchet and latch mechanism is one of the important mechanism. It will be used for the most of the automation purposes. For automation purposes, you can see that this is called the indexing wheel. This is called indexing wheel. Once it has been rotated, it will be stopped for a certain time. It will be stopped for a certain time. For the next engagement, it will be rotated for a segment of rotation. This is called as ratchet arrangement. Ratchet arrangement, and there will be interlocking arrangement. Okay, once it has been rotated, if it is a 8-station system, 8 times it will be rotated. 360 degrees will be divided into 8. And the ratchet mechanism is one which will be locking itself. For example, in the jacks, screw jacks. So your vehicle got punctured, we are going to use some screw jacks there. It will be rotated, and what height is required to keep, you'll be keeping that particular height and leave it. It will not come back. It will be locking itself. So this is called the ratchet and latch mechanism. Okay, ratchet and latch mechanism, and this will be used in the looms. Okay, and typewriting machines. Okay, and another one important thing is in the guns. In the guns and the captain and turret lathe, you can see that in the lathe, CNC lathe, the turret will be there, no? So different tools will be arranged, and these tools will be called for, and that particular tool will come in position for the machining operation. So this is also there. Also we are going to use the ratchet and the latch mechanisms. Okay, these are some of the, and the grease guns and the clocks. All these are the certain examples of the ratchet mechanisms. And the application of clamps. So before you understand the application of clamps, what these clamps are, we have to understand them. Clamps are made out of the mechanisms, different linkages, okay, and it is used to hold the object. Maybe the object we are going to perform some work on this. For example, I am going to do the drilling operation, I am going to do the nailing operation, and I am going to do the varieties of work on the work part. So that time we are going to use certain clamps. Okay, so here the very simple example is the C clamp we will be using. C clamp I have not